they didn't have the guts to do it, so they hired a taxi driver, bringing another person into the plot named Harry Green. They offered him $150 out of the insurance payout. So this fool says, sure. So
I
they
mean, for
pull,
$150, I mean, wouldn't you just hit a random stranger with your car?
right? Why not?
What the hell?
As you do, right?
As
So
you don't.
they haul drunk Mike out of the speakeasy and drive him away from the speakeasy in the cab. Then they haul him out of the cab and hold him up while Green revs up the engine. And somehow Malloy manages to roll out of the way twice from the cab. The third time he runs him over and then backs over him just to be sure. And then they take off, thinking he's just going to die in the street. So then they
I'm
start
thinking,
calling
no.
around. Right. Well, Joe Murphy starts calling around the next day to all of the local morgues looking for his missing brother. Well, they just keep
Oh.
reading obituaries and he's not showing up. And they finally find him in a local hospital with a broken collarbone.
This dude is Gumby.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
So they decide that didn't work and they're a little frustrated with trying to kill Mike Malloy because it's not working. So they decide to kill Joe Murphy instead. Joe didn't know. And
I would assume not.
so Joe, remember, is the bartender. So they drug him and they put Malloy's identification in his pocket and they run over him with Green's cab. But guess who also doesn't die? But he does spend 2 months in the hospital and is now very pissed off.
They're very bad at murder. They should really just stop.
Yeah, they're terrible at murder. So then they
Murder
move
trust,
on.
murder
Yeah.
distrust, I don't know.
Murder fools. So then they decide that they'll freeze him to death. So they get him drunk. I mean, he's like drinking like a fish every day anyway. So they get
Mhm.
him drunk. They carry him to an a park bench, and it's winter, it's cold. They take off all of his clothes and pour water on him and leave him,
Oh my god.
thinking that he will die.
The water might have saved him.
Well, when Marito gets to the speakeasy the next morning, guess who he finds curled up in the basement of the building, waiting for them to open? Yep, Mike Malloy. He had walked back and fell asleep in the speakeasy. That's the only place he really knew to go, so he just went there and broke in. Yep. So now they've made a few payments on the insurance trust and they're getting pissed.